Mr. Compion would not be sworn in tonight? And secondly, why Mr. Compion would have to wait until the first meeting, proposed meeting in January, to be duly sworn in? Could we kind of uh, get some history behind what has transpired, why we've decided to make the decisions that we have made, and then I'd like to ask a few questions pursuant to that discussion.
Thank you, sir. Derek, do you want to address that, Mr. Jackson? You want to call on?
Yeah, go ahead, Derek.
Yes. So Mayor Pro Tem Bell, according to the Texas Election Code, going back all the way to when we had 3 candidates for District B, when there are 3 candidates and none of them get the majority, if someone withdraws from their candidacy at that point, then there has to be a runoff election between the remaining 2 candidates. What happened in the case of this election was that there was a runoff election called between Ms. Devine and Mr. Compion. After the election was called, Ms. Devine withdrew her candidacy, which puts Mr. Compion into unopposed status following adoption of this resolution to make it official. Also, according to the Texas Election Code, section 2.053E, it requires that the certificate of election cannot be issued to the candidate until it's done in the same manner and at the same time as provided for a candidate elected at the election. So this is specific to your unopposed candidates. That is the reason that Mr. Compion, while you can go ahead and cancel this election, you can declare him unopposed, and the word elected is in the statute for specifically runoff candidates that are running unopposed. We can't actually swear him in until after the election would have been held. The runoff election would have been held on December 15th. Our charter then requires that the candidate begin their duties at the next council meeting following the date when the election would have been held, is canvassed, etc. In this case, that would be the January meeting. That said, if for some reason council were to have a meeting after December 15th, Mr. Compion would be sworn in at that meeting instead of waiting until the January meeting.
Okay. So let me just ask really quickly, because there's a couple of issues here that you did clear up, and I think that clears it up for me in a meaningful way. And let me go backwards first. So at the end of the day, this council has the power to call a special meeting to issue his certificate of election and swear him in. It doesn't have to be the January meeting. We could do that after December 15th.
That's correct.
Okay. So, but the interesting part, and that I heard you say that I haven't heard before, is something to the effect that tonight we can, because we are canceling our runoff election and we are acknowledging that he's running unopposed, we can declare him elected tonight, but we cannot issue a certificate of election until after the scheduled runoff date. And you gave a section. What was the section that you gave? It started with two.
So you're talking about the in the time and manner requirement in the election code. That's 2.053E.
2.053E. So you're saying that suggests, and I don't have any angle other than information, dear, on this. So you're suggesting that that says to us that he can be declared elected tonight, but he cannot receive his certificate of election until after the 15th.
Correct. And I would go a step further and say that our charter requires that he cannot begin his duties until the next council meeting following the date the election would have been held. So
if go ahead, I'm sorry.
Right. So basically, the certificate of election is more than just a formality. He cannot begin his duties until the council meeting following that date. So you're looking at December 16th at the earliest.
Gotcha. And I think that's fair. That's doable. I just wanted to drill down one more time for my, and I think perhaps Councilman-elect Mr. Compion is on the line with us today. But I just wanted to drill down into this section 2.053. What is it about that section that suggests that though we are able to declare him elected tonight, we are still unable to issue a certificate of election? And again, I have no angle to debate you on this. I'm just trying to understand.
So what I would say is first, it's actually an interplay between several sections of the election code. But specifically, there are the words that the certificate of election cannot be issued except in the time and manner that it would have been if the election had been held. And I will say, just to provide a little bit of credibility, because there are so many parts of the election code at issue here. One, there was a lot of research done prior to this opinion being decided, including making sure that it was consistent with Secretary of State's guidance. And then we went a step further and actually just spoke with someone from the Secretary of State's office, an attorney there, and they are also on board with this interpretation. And I will tell you that the thing that really makes the difference is that the runoff election was called and then Ms. Devine withdrew, making him an unopposed runoff candidate. So had that happened at a different time period, then you might get a different answer. So for instance, had there been only 2 runoff candidates and one of the runoff candidates withdrew prior to the election being called, then they would have been an unopposed candidate put in at the same time as any other candidate who won their election. That was not the case that we were dealing with here. We were dealing with 3 candidates, and I think that's where the confusion might be coming from.
Okay. Well, we can have a healthy discussion on what it means when the law says time and manner. But I think we're talking about maybe 9 days to the 16th if the council chooses. And so I don't know that it's advantageous for us to continue this discussion unless the council's not favorable for us to move this forward to resolve the issue, because I know Joe's ready, chomping at the bit, and I understand that and I respect that. But at the same time, you all have tried to do your due diligence. And so I don't know that 9 days will hurt, but I would think that an entire month might. So I think that we can get this done in the manner that you are suggesting tonight. Perhaps after this meeting, we might call another meeting after the 15th, and then that way we can all compromise.
Mayor Pro Tem, are you available on Wednesday, the 16th?
Yes, sir, I should be. What time? I have Bible study.
6 o'clock or whatever's convenient for you.
I could probably do from 6 to 6:10 and then get off the call if you need me. That'll work.
Yeah, it should be just a matter of Councilmember Compion being sworn in and us doing our agenda item.
Okay.
Tink, are you good with that?
Yeah, we'll get to work on it tomorrow.
Then as chair of the meeting, we'll go ahead, if no one's opposed to that, call special meeting to swear Mr. Compion in on the 16th. Adira, is that a good time frame for you?
I'll make it work. You're my only clerk.
Great. All right. Thank you. So with that being said, if there's no other discussion, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Thank you, Council. Item B, discussion possible action to adopt ordinance number 0-2020-0019, abandoning 2 portions of public right-of-way near Hallam Road and Delaney Road, and authorizing conveyance of said rights-of-way to the adjacent property owner. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
I second.
There's a motion, a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And are there any opposed? Show the motion passes. Item C, discussion and possible action regarding adopting ordinance number 0-2020-0020, adopting 2018 building codes. I'll entertain a motion. This is the first reading.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. I've got one question, Tink, and maybe it's for Den. Under this adoption, I didn't see it in there, but I'm hoping we're not adopting it as far as requiring residential sprinkler systems in new build homes.
I'll let Dara answer that.
So no, we are not requiring sprinklers in new residential homes. We did not adopt Appendix B to the fire code that would have required that based on fire flow. And then we are also subject to the state preemption of that requirement to the extent it shows up anywhere in the 2018 fire code.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And are there any opposed? Show the motion passes. Item D, discussion, possible action to approve the annual purchase of surface water from Gulf Coast Water Authority. Mr. Jackson.
Mayor, Council, I believe that Dara's recommendation, and I think we need to go into executive session and talk about some things that are related to this item before we continue.
That's fine. Then will, Madam Clerk, if you'll call the time. Madam Clerk.
I have 6:14.
Okay, 6:14. We'll adjourn the regular meeting and go into executive session. Kyle, if you'll give us the link, please.
Kyle, I also need Den and Chase and Dara in there.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Thank you.
Did Dara need to go in there?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second. Let me.
Can we go ahead and join?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there anyone here on the call that can let me know how to ask a question to Tink about my home?
I would do that in a regular, during the regular business day. For the city
Okay,
manager?
so maybe just call the,
Yeah,
yeah, for the city manager.
yeah. His extension is 9225.
9225. Okay, I'll write that down right now. Yeah, because they came out to look at my house and they're getting with him and I need to kind of find out what's going on with that. Okay, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Let me know when everyone's back, please.
We have everyone back, Mayor.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, will you call the time?
It is 6:55.
6:55, we'll leave the executive session and come back into the regular meeting. Item 6, action taken from executive session, discussion, possible action regarding the annual Gulf Coast Water Authority contract for purchase of water. I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we direct the city manager to accept the additional offer for water allocation for our city and to negotiate future allocations of water for our city as it relates to our 5-year water needs.
Thank you, sir. And is there a second?
I second.
There's a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And are there any opposed? Show the motion passes. Council, thank you very much this evening, and we'll see you again. Chris? Did you want
Yes,
to
sir.
say something? Did you want to say something? Your picture popped up.
No, sir.
Okay. Well, council, thank you so much. And if all goes well, and I pray that it does, we'll see you on the 16th for the swearing in of our newest council member, Joe Compion. And have a great night, everybody. I love you guys. Take care.
Thank you.